This is a mobile camp that's starting in Alpine, and we will follow the camp throughout the pipeline construction all the way to the ocean. The pipeline is going in so fast that if you have a camp here, the pipeline is going to be buried, and then this camp is going to be obsolete. We want to get you to see the destruction and the construction of the Trans-Pecos pipeline. They have to run the pipe, 48-inch pipe, underneath the railroad, and they have to reinforce that railroad to be able to stay within specs with the Texas Railroad Commission. They have pumps. That's all the white pipes that you see coming out, and you see all the equipment there. They have to drill a pilot hole approximately 4 to 5 inches. They barrel that drill stem and that pilot hole underneath the railroad, and then they follow it up with a bigger drill bit, the size of their pipe, a little bit bigger than their pipe. And that drill stem has a portion on the front of it that follows that pilot hole. And what they're doing with all those white pipes that you see, those are all 4 and 5 inch casing wells, that they're pumping that water faster than the ground can pump it out. That keeps their facility dry. If they didn't have those pumps, they would be working in water. The groundwater is only about 25-30 feet below the surface. Right now, they're just pumping that water. Now, it is true, there's no contaminants in that water right now, but they're going to end up using these areas and areas like that and these pumps to pump out that water and put into their pipe. So they need these type of wells throughout the entire pipeline. They intend to use 500 million gallons of water to test these pipelines in sections. They add chemicals, erosives, acids, corrosives inside that to cure that pipe, the inside of it. After they air test it, they will water test it. That water comes from the ground out here, all the way through Mexico. Everywhere that pipe is laid, they have to take that groundwater. They take your groundwater and they use it. They add those chemicals, put it in the pipe, and it becomes contaminated water. 500 million gallons of contaminated water. And then what do they do with that water? They have permits to dump that water back on the ground and back into the soil. They pump it back into the aquifers. One of the places that they're pumping that is Wolf Bone Leach Field. That leach field is less than 10 miles from Salomon Springs, world-renowned Salomon Springs, sacred waters. It pumps out 230 gallons of water a second. That is 20 million gallons. 20 million gallons a day that spring provides. That's dangerous to try to take all this water and pump it back into the ground. Their permits allow them to pump it, and they're very vague, these permits. They say from 5 foot to 10 foot all the way to 6,000 foot. They can drill down and pump that water back into the earth.
The Rock House fire started in Marfa. In less than 45 minutes, it was already in Fort Davis. They pulled Fort Davis Voluntary Fire Department down to Marfa, and they couldn't even get back to save their community. There were homes and other stuff that burned. Eventually, it took about a month and a half to actually put it out. We had firefighters that stayed here for months fighting this. They said, we have never seen 0 or less than 0 humidity. That's how bad it was. I realized that when they're welding the pipe that they have covers and everything, but it doesn't take but one spark. It doesn't take but one cigarette butt. The FERC came into being because of the international border, and the only part that they allowed this to be in that was the last 1,093 feet. The rest of that pipeline was like it doesn't exist. FERC permit only has to be for interstate. Intrastate does not have to be filed, or if it's international. And that's the only reason why this went on FERC. If they hadn't gone across the Rio Grande, we would have had no recourse at all, because Texas Railroad Commission has a form, it's a T4 permit, and they check it. Do not in any kind of investigation as to really and truly if it's that way. They claim that all of this gas is from Texas, although they have connections in New Mexico and up to Oklahoma that goes to Waha, and that's where the station is going to be. That is being pushed through this pipeline. The other 2 pipelines that's going through San Elizaro outside of El Paso is 8 times more than what Mexico needs to convert their plants down there. Following the trail of the money, we have found that Japan and other Asian markets are the people who want this because their gas is so high over there. And the biggest concern that we have is the fact that land has been taken away from landowners here in order to push a product through that is only going to benefit the people who are putting the pipeline in. This company put in the same diameter, which is 42 inches, pipeline in 2012 through a town called Cuero, south of San Antonio, and 3 years later it blew up. How can we know that they're being judicial and correct in the way that they're installing this pipeline and that it not possibly blow up a mile from my house?